Good afternoon. Good afternoon, 10 Swallow family. How are you doing? Hopefully, you're having an amazing day so far. I wanted to come in and do a check with you all just to see where you are and also to talk about our topic for today. The topic for today is important because we're getting ready to go into um, a study of talking about natural remedies and the benefits of juicing and detoxing. We talked about those things a lot. My focus now is to help those that follow our page begin to prepare their immune system and strengthen their immune system so that it can withstand a hit if it does get attacked. It could be from your cold, it can be for your common cold, your flu, it can just be from upper respiratory infections, or it could potentially, if you get hit with COVID. We believe God and we thank God for protection, but we also need to be prepared and be very truthful with ourselves whether or not our system can stand. Whether or not our system is able to take that kind of hit if it is attacked. Okay. So the things we're going to talk about now are our natural herbs. Hold on just a second because my neighbor's dog is barking hysterically. Hold on. And we're going to talk about the natural remedies that we want to talk about so we can help build our bodies up. Okay. So let's talk about herbs and how they're used for medicinal purposes. Okay. And how they are actually used and have been used in years prior to me for natural healing of our bodies. Okay. So we've talked about different herbs before, but we talked about how they've been used in traditional sense, how they've been used to promote natural healing within the body. These are everyday herbs that we're going to talk about that can actually be grown in your own home. Okay. If you don't grow herbs, or some people grow their basil or grow their thyme or other things like that, or their lemongrass, some people traditionally just have herb boxes that they grow at home. If you do, great. Okay. That way, you know that it's being treated properly. You don't have any pesticides or any residue from pesticides on your herbs. If you buy them from your local farmer market or local herb stores, or if you have herbalists in your area, then I encourage you to make sure that you buy them organic, meaning that they're not grown in any pesticides or any of that. It avoids toxins from coming to your body from the herbs that you are actually using or taking. Okay. So we want to make sure that we are doing that. Okay. And just be mindful of, if you know of if you have any allergic reactions to certain things, be mindful of that, because sometimes certain herbs, sometimes to people, based off how sensitive you are, they can really cause some type of reaction sometimes to some people. So we're going to talk about some very common herbs that you can find in your stores. We're going to talk about some benefits of those common herbs and how they can be used. Okay. We know one is chamomile. Okay. Sometimes people drink chamomile tea. I love tea. I'm a tea lover. So if you are one that likes chamomile tea, you can use that. That's a great herb. Okay. If chamomile is used for a lot of different reasons. One of the most common things that the chamomile is used for is to treat digestion. Okay. For those that may have, acid reflux or digestive issues, chamomile is a very good herb for that. You can take the actual chamomile leaf. You can actually boil it. You can steep it and just have the raw chamomile. It's really good for you. It really helps your digestive system. You can actually use the chamomile and steep it and press it. You can actually get chamomile oil that can be used for massaging. So the chamomile plant has a lot of great benefits to it. So that's one of the things that I like about chamomile. You can use it, steep it and use it as a natural mouthwash. You can use it as a paste to treat bug bites and things of that nature. It can be used for a lot of different things. All right. So chamomile has a lot of external remedies and benefits for it, but it also has a lot of internal benefits that can help things. One of the common things is digestive issues. Okay. We're going to talk about, I have a list of things we're going to talk about. We know about ginger. I talk about ginger all the time. It's one of the things that I use. It's a very powerful herb that I use inside of all of our detox drinks. One thing about ginger is it's widely available. You can find ginger everywhere, right? It tends to be in most of your health food stores, many of your grocery stores. But one thing about ginger is you need to be able to recognize ginger that has been naturally grown and ginger that has been grown in chemicals and different things. They look totally different. Ginger is not these big old gigantic pieces of ginger you can find inside of stores that people grow, and they grow them rapidly, right? They have all type of chemicals in them to induce them to make the ginger be really big. Ginger, if you actually know what organic ginger looks like, is not going to be very big. It's going to be something small and similar to this. If you start seeing big gigantic ginger roots, no, it's not organically grown ginger. And actually, they are induced chemicals to make the ginger be bigger. So you want to be mindful of that. One of my simple recipes I like to use for just real ginger ale. It's really simple. I know you like ginger ale that comes out of the store that has all these raw sugar ingredients in it, but you can actually get the ginger root. You can peel it, you can grate it, you can put just a teaspoon of active yeast in it, and fresh lemon juice, and actually put water in it, and it'll begin to fizz up, and you'll add some fresh lemons and fresh limes to it, and you have a natural ginger ale. Okay, so be mindful of adding all the extra sugars. Okay, one of the other herbs I like to talk about is lemon balm. Okay, lemon balm is actually lemon balm oil is really, really, really good for the body. It's actually a very common essential oil. So if you have people who use essential oils, lemon balm is actually natural essential oil. You can mix the lemon balm. It's really good for intestinal problems. Is really good for those who may have upset stomach all the time. You can steep it with fresh lemons, and it's really, really good for intestinal issues. Okay. Peppermint leaf. I love the smell of fresh peppermint. I use fresh peppermint essential oil. Sometimes if we have headaches, people naturally tend to go to your Tylenol or your ibuprofen, and ibuprofen really begins to affect your liver. If some people tend to, if that's your go-to all the time, then begin to seek out natural remedies. One, find out why you're constantly having headaches. Yes, sometimes people have migraines and have had them for years, but sometimes things that are going on in our body indicates what our body predicates out, meaning things that go on internally we can't see. Our body begins to respond and react to that, which means could be a headache or something, right? So I tend to take fresh peppermint oil and put it in my hand and steep it, and it's a natural relief for a headache. Okay, you can use peppermint as a massage oil. You can do peppermint compressions. It helps with minor irritation, skin irritations. You can steam the peppermint, and you can also put it in your bath water as a natural relaxant. Okay. Rosemary. I love rosemary. I love rosemary tea. I love to put rosemary when I'm cooking steaks or different things. So we can use it for a lot of different things. You can use it for aromatherapy mist. You can have rosemary essential oil, but it helps with a lot of different things. One thing I do like about rosemary is that it's very mild. But the potency of it and what it's used for is really, really good. Sometimes when people use rosemary, they misuse it, or they don't even really understand how to use it. So these herbs, a lot of things that we're talking about, we want to go back and reassess how they help our bodies, right? Not just to be taking herbs, just to be taking herbs. Okay. It's really good as a scalp treatment. It's really good actually as a spritzer. You can put it and spritz it in your face. So it's a natural relaxing. Just the rosemary within itself, sometimes you can put it and steep it, put it in a little spritz bottle. You can spray it on your face as a natural refresher. Okay. I'm going to also talk about, let me see which other one I want to talk about. Because there are so many of the natural herbs that we have access to, but sometimes they're really are not used the right way. Okay. One thing I want to talk about is the benefits of lavender. Lavender is one of those things that sometimes it can actually be used as a relaxing herb. You can take lavender, you can have lavender oil. Sometimes people take lavender baths. Sometimes they have spritzers with fresh lavender in it and it relaxes. Sometimes people take it and spray it around their rooms. Sometimes people put lavender in diffusers because it naturally relaxes the nervous system. That's sometimes that people you can find them sometimes and with all these other fragrances added to it. But if you have natural lavender, meaning from a natural lavender plant, you can take it and you can use it and it really, really helps. Okay. So look into these things and make sure if you're going to get herbs or start thinking about using herbs or different organic things or home remedies, as people would say them, make sure you start looking into them to make sure that you're getting the best of the products and you're just not getting something that has the label and says it's that. Do your research. Things like your aloe vera plants, how they can be used for bruises, how they can be used to treat burns naturally, instead of things like your neosporin and things of that nature. There are a lot of things that our parents and grandparents had access to because they didn't have high-end medical things that they use. They can actually use it for a lot of those reasons. So we definitely want to talk about that, okay? We want to talk about things that are really good for, just say, for your skin. All right. So let's just talk about that. Things that can treat your skin. Sometimes having, some people may have eczema. Sometimes people have acne really bad. Sometimes people have blemishes and things that they're always putting Noxzema and all these things on. You can take something simple as your sea moss. I've done it live before where I actually did a sea moss mask on my face, and it actually helps to purify your skin and pull toxins out of your skin. Sea moss has 92 to 98 of the 100 natural minerals that our body needs. So having things like that to naturally clean your skin and pull out toxins are things we want to go to. Don't always feel like you have to have something from prescriptions. Now, are we telling you to ignore your prescriptions and stop taking them? No, we're not. But what I am telling you is that there are natural things that you can take that would naturally help your body, even if it means regulating your system, regulating your digestive system, assisting with headaches, even with female concerns. Maybe you have heavy menstrual cycles. Maybe it could be fibroids or whatever your issue or it may be. You can use things naturally to be able to help. Okay. We're going to talk about tea tree. Okay. Sometimes people use tea tree in their scalp. They use it as an antiseptic. They use it as a skin toner. They can use it as a shampoo. So tea tree oil, at the actual extract of the tea tree plant is what gives the benefits and what people create tea tree oil. So it is a natural, one of the natural herbs that sometimes people use for a lot of medicinal reasons, but for external reasons, shampoo in your scalp. You can go into like your everyday common hair supply store and it probably vast majority of their shampoos and things, if they have them, they would say it has tea tree oil in it. It's a natural skin toner. It's natural to treat for nail fungus. You can take it and massage it into your cuticles, around your fingers or around your toes, and it begins to treat fungus and things on your hands or your nails, fingers or toes, if you have that. And those are the things that we want to talk about. We want to talk about things that are natural, not just things that you can just go and purchase in the store. We want to try to get away from naturally medicating ourselves for everyday things that are common things that we can treat without actually having prescriptions for. Okay. We're actually going to talk about different things, different fruits that can be antioxidants for the body. All right. Let's talk about our berries, different type of berries that are really good for antioxidants in our bodies. Cranberries, blueberries. Those are your top two berries that are good antioxidants for the body. Cranberries, we know people, sometimes you will have urinary tract infections when you grow up and your grandparents or parents would say, drink some cranberry juice, right? Okay. Well, they weren't lying, okay? So cranberries can help prevent urinary tract infections, or UTIs, as people call them. The antibiotics that are naturally antibiotics that are in cranberries are really good, okay? So you want to go for that, because what it does is actually stick to the cell walls, and it begins to cause the bladder and the urethra to rid itself of infections naturally. So those are some things that you want to consider when you are eating your berries, okay? Cranberries is very, very popular for that, okay? Our blueberries, we want to talk about that. Blueberries, they help improve your memory. They're really good at removing toxins from the body. They help prevent urinary tract infections, and research also shows that evidence of the blueberries also help stabilize the neurological system, okay? Sometimes people like to have blueberries for snack. They like to put it in their oatmeal. They like to do all these other things, but you can use the blueberries how you want to use the blueberries, okay? I'm just giving you some things that I think would work, all right? Okay. So, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, and kale. I love all of those, okay? Those are some really, really, really good vegetables that are really meant to strengthen your immune system, okay? Broccoli, we already know about broccoli. We should know about some of the benefits of it. With just 1/2 cup of broccoli, it contains over 80% of the recommended daily vitamin C, okay? At just 22 calories. A 1/2 cup of broccoli is only 22 calories, but you get a large variety of what your body needs from that, okay? Kale. I love kale, okay? These are some things I can eat all the time, all right? Even if you have never had kale, I can have kale raw in a kale salad, or I can steam it and have it that way, but I'll be having it raw in a salad. I have it at least twice a week raw in a salad. But if you have never had kale, definitely look into the benefits of kale. And if you decide that you want to have kale, don't literally cook the life out of it. We talked about that last week, okay? You can tell the kale, it kind of puts you in the mind if you know what the greens look like. It kind of looks in the family of a turnip greens, because the leaves are a little bit ruffled, if that makes sense. It's not like your collard green, which is like an open leaf. It's a little bit ruffled, but it's loaded with antioxidants, vitamins, and mineral. Including kale in your diet may help guard against cancer, heart disease, vision problems, and high blood pressure, okay? You can prepare kale a few different ways. I like to have it raw. I do cook it sometimes, but I can eat it either way, all right? If you like Brussels sprouts, I love Brussels sprouts too. Brussels sprouts are one of those things that can help you with reducing, potentially study shows that can help reduce cancer and heart disease. And Brussels sprouts are very high in fiber, okay? So I like to have Brussels sprouts roasted. I like to grill them. You can have them in many different forms, so choose whichever way may work for you, all right? Maybe even make you a vegetable medley where you have your kale and your Brussels sprouts and broccoli. I do that a lot. Or a veggie stir fry. When you have Chantanelle, stop it. Have you some Brussels sprouts. I'm gonna make you some. And then you can try them, because sometimes we'll say we don't like a thing and then we end up trying it. And then we be like, oh, I think I can handle that, right? Okay, so those are things that we want to talk about. Let's talk about our pomegranate. Pomegranate is one of those vegetables, a fruit, that sometimes people don't get a pomegranate because they really don't know how to eat it, okay? Okay, so pomegranates are anti-cancer effect, okay? And they also have made headline. Pomegranate seeds are filled with tart ruby red juice. I love pomegranate juice, okay? We actually have a pomegranate and peach detox drink, okay? I love it, okay? And it helps with slowing down the progression of prostate cancer in some men with the disease. It also helps clear the colon and the prostate, and also helps to reduce cancer cells, okay? Pomegranate is powerful. I love pomegranate juice. The pomegranate seeds, sometimes people be like, I don't know about the pomegranate seeds, right? If you've never, some people don't actually even know how to get into a pomegranate. And it's not that uncommon, because some people, they may have seen the seeds, or you can go in, sometimes I've seen them in Publix where they have containers of just pomegranate seeds. Try them, all right? It could be something new for you. Um, I juice pomegranate seeds. All right. So sometimes that may not be for you. You may not want to juice them. You can take just the pomegranate seeds and you can put them on top of your salads. It's going to be pretty good, right? Try it. Okay. Start getting some variety. We talk about beets all the time. I have beets in my juices, beet blaster, but the beet, some people will not even eat a beet, right? But they will drink beet juice. Sometimes you just get discouraged because of the color. Yes, I've seen them in Publix a whole lot, Chantanelle, the pomegranate seeds. You people get discouraged by the color of the beet juice and they just automatically assume because you see beets in the store and the beetroot looks dirty. Well, you're not having, you're not having the actual beetroot. Okay, so you're gonna wash the beet, you're gonna clean it up, but you're gonna juice it, and it's really, really good for you. We're talking about things now because we've been doing a teaching on the raw food diet. So I'm giving you some things that's going to help you, some natural things, some natural things to help you through establishing a raw food diet. Okay. These are natural herbs that's going to help you. These are natural fruits that are going to help you. These are natural vegetables that are going to help you. So let's talk about some nuts. Okay. Sometimes people they have these nuts, they don't want to eat the nuts, they be like, I'm not really sure about that. Let's talk about it. Okay, so some of my favorite nuts. Okay, I like almonds. Okay, you like almonds? These nuts are very full with protein. Okay, you can throw these nuts on your salads for your raw food diets. You can just have you a little handful of nuts if you want to, but they're full of protein. And if you're going to have a raw food diet, you still need to make sure you're getting some protein in. Okay, it could be just having you a protein shake. You can be making you a smoothie and putting you some protein in it. Sometimes when you're doing raw food diets, if your body is not conditioned to be able to go without cooked food, is mental, okay? Then you have to begin to give your body things that naturally would fill it up. And having protein is going to be key, okay? So let's talk about the almond, okay? Research has shown that adding almonds to your diet mean not like a diet like I be talking about the summer body diet. It means a regular eating routine in this sentence, okay? Can prevent spikes in your blood sugar and lower high carbohydrate meals and can lower your blood pressure. Okay. We want to talk about the almonds. It's really good. It's very fatty. And it's equivalent to having a half a cup of broccoli. Okay. The pecan or pecans, as some of you may say. It contains several different forms of vitamin E and are particularly rich in one of the vitamins called gamma. And pecans also contain vitamin A, a folate, and also vitamin B. Okay. Okay. So I like pecans too. It's full of calcium, magnesium, potassium, a little bit of zinc, and also can be found in some animal-based food products, depending. All right. Walnuts may be the most heart healthy form of all the nuts. Just in one small serving of walnuts, that's about 7 of them. That's a small serving, okay? Provides an entire day a recommended allowance of omega 3s in just a small serving of walnuts, okay? Listen, these things are helpful. I think that these are things that people should know because when we start talking about having raw food diets, we start looking for things that how we can replace something and we replace them with the wrong things, okay? Your olive oil and your avocados. Avocado, I always usually make salad dressings naturally. Either it's going to be from juicing apples, it's going to be from lemons and limes. I always keep lemons and limes at my house because I always make natural dressings with lemons and limes. I love avocado. Avocado oil is one of the other things. Sometimes I can take an avocado and juice it and get fresh avocado oil. It's really, really good. You can talk about things like your beans. Okay. Sometimes beans, certain type of beans are really good for you. You just have to do the research. We don't typically like things that we don't cook typically, right? Because we've been sometimes mentally conditioned to think that everything that we have has to be cooked. No. Everything we have does not have to be cooked for you to be able to get the nutrients from it. We've talked about last week that sometimes the things that you cook, you overcook them. And then we can't get what we need to get from them, okay? So don't be overcooking. Okay, don't overcook them. Learn how to properly cook your fruits. I mean, your vegetables. Sometimes people even cook their fruit. Sometimes people can take an apple and bake it and just have a baked apple crisp. Or sometimes people can actually grill their mangoes. Or sometimes they can take their pears and they can, kind of saute them a little bit. Your fruits can be cooked down too. Be very mindful of when you are having a raw food diet that you don't always gravitate toward fruit first. Why? Because oftentimes when you are gravitating toward a non-cooked diet, again, we're not talking about a diet. We're talking about a lifestyle of eating for a period of time. You getting this natural sugar, you having your cantaloupe, you having your melons, you having your pears, your apples. Now you're loading your stomach, the lining of your stomach with all of these natural sugars. You don't want to do that, okay? Fruits are amazing, but fruits mishandled can be very dangerous for you. Meaning to sit there and have a bowl full of honeydew melon, cantaloupe, watermelon, apples and grapes, and having a fruit salad first thing in the morning is not the best thing for you. Now, it looks pretty. It looks really, really good. If that's all you're having, then you're naturally high off sugar first thing in the morning. And we don't want to do that, okay? We want to know how to properly handle our fruits and our vegetables. But then as we learn how to properly handle our fruits and our vegetables, now that we know that, will it be something that we continue to do? So you have to bring balance in your overall food diet, right? You need to have a good, healthy portion of your meals to be vegetables and then have a moderate portion of fruit. We all grew up with people say, eat your fruits and vegetables. Yes, eat your fruits and vegetables, but don't wake up in the morning eating a bowl of sugar with all these mixture of fruit because you're doing your body a disservice, okay? Those are things that we want to talk about. We want to talk about different things that you can get good probiotics in. Oftentimes you hear probiotics often referred to with women because sometimes women have things that happen in our bodies that our probiotics are off sometimes. And so sometimes we want to talk about things that can help us with our probiotics. And it's simple. Making sure your body has a natural level of protein, okay? You can be moderate when it comes to your dairy products. Sometimes people have dairy a lot throughout the day, and dairy sometimes for women is not always the best thing because sometimes in some women it can promote natural yeast infections, and you don't want to continue to have to go through that because you'll have an overload of dairy. When you are considering natural remedies or natural herbs, begin to look into things that can help give you the supplements that you're looking for. Sometimes we just have dairy just because it's a common thing throughout the day. You can have it for cereal. You can have dairy in your coffee, like in your creamers. You can have it in your cheeses or your cream cheeses or in your butters. Sometimes an overload of dairy in your body off kilters your body and it throws off the women's pH system. And so you don't want to always just overload yourself with dairy. Sometimes that's not something that people always go back and look at. But go back and assess how much dairy you're actually getting in your body. Are you overloading yourself with dairy products? Is it because you don't typically know or you're not really mindful? Like sometimes I've been guilty of it. I would get up and I would put creamer in my coffee. I would put cream cheese on a bagel. I may have butter in my grits or whatever the case may be, right? I don't eat like that anymore, but I've been very guilty of doing it for a very long time, okay? So you want to actually just make sure that you are doing things to help you, okay? Let's talk about natural remedies as it relates to the cold, the flu, or allergy symptoms, okay? One is try a natural saltwater nasal wash. Sometimes you have upper respiratory infections and all of these things, and we look for nasal sprays and all these things. But sometimes just a nice saltwater nasal flush will begin to clean out all of mucus and things that are clogged in our nasal passages, and we need to be mindful of that. Okay. Try a hot cup of tea. Okay. Tea is good. Use steam therapy. Sometimes you can have these, you can find them in your local drugstores. They actually look like little small little kilter pots, and it's steam therapies that can go up into your nostrils. And you can actually put ginger in them and different things to actually begin to flush your system out. Okay. We are going to talk about things like the benefits of honey. Honey has a lot of natural benefits to it. Things like gargling with salt water. Be mindful of not overdoing that, because salt can naturally increase your blood pressure. And for some people who have natural blood pressure issues, then gargling with salt water, sometimes people will say, oh, do that for a sore throat. Well, if you already have hypertension issues and you just gargling with raw salt, that's not probably the decision that you want to make. So then you probably want to go to your natural things like your natural cider vinegar. You can do a turmeric salt water gargle, meaning you can replace the salt water with turmeric. Juice you some turmeric or steep the turmeric in some warm water and gargle with it, because the turmeric within itself is actually has killing properties in it, and it's a great sore throat remedy. Okay, so you have to know your body and know actually what works for you. If you have hypertension issues, then you don't want to be gargling with salt, a whole cup of salt. That just wouldn't be like the right thing to do. Okay. um do those things that can naturally help an upset stomach. Okay, you can chew calming herbs. So one of the calming herbs is actual fennel. Fennel seeds, sometimes historically people would actually take fennel seeds and chew them, and it actually helps to calm the stomach. Okay. We talked about sipping, having peppermint oil. That those are things that naturally help. Okay, you want to go back and start doing research. I have so many notes, you all, so I'm just giving you some things. Things for constipation and gas, these are natural things. One is to stay hydrated. When you naturally stay hydrated with water, then it naturally gives your bowels the permission to move freely, and it doesn't allow you to, to be consistently constipated. Adding a lot of fiber to your diet is one thing you want to do. Having a diet that's high in fiber actually is a natural laxative within itself. Physical exercise, right? Try to see about getting you at least 20 to 30 minutes of some type of physical exercise in a day. Okay. Whether it's going outside when you get home and walking around your neighborhood, or spending your lunch breaks at work going for a brisk 20-minute walk, something like that. Okay. Identify things that trigger gas in your body naturally. The common things that people talk about are bananas, beans, cereals, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, dairy and lentils, onions, prunes, raisins, whole wheat bread, or even deep fried foods. These are things that naturally sometimes cause gas in our bodies. And so when gas in our bodies are not released, then sometimes people start having gas pains and things of that nature. Okay. Most common things for diarrhea is drinking blackberry tea. Blackberry tea, blackberries, natural fresh blackberries. You can actually steep them and actually get an organic blackberry tea. Really, really good. Okay. Eat light. When you are having upset stomachs, don't be trying to just go eat everything. Okay. Stay away from your dairies and drink plenty of water. Right. Go for your probiotics that are really good. Sometimes you need to reassess your system. Your body may not respond the same way it did when you was 10, 15, 20 years old. Sometimes your body changes and what it likes changes. And so we need to be mindful. If our body starts giving indication of changes, then guess what? We need to be mindful of that. Sometimes you could probably tolerate dairy when you were younger, meaning cheese, ice cream, all these other things. Well, maybe now you're getting older and your body can't tolerate that. So now you may have to go back and reassess. Okay, my body doesn't respond to dairy well. Maybe I need to start looking into weaning myself off of a high dairy diet. Okay, that's going to be important. Okay. do that. Sometimes people, even with um, like sickness, we know ginger is something really good that you can have when you're experiencing nausea. And again, we talked about how our grandparents and parents would say, oh, just drink a ginger ale or something. They had the natural concept to know that ginger would help with nausea, but having it in the form of a soda is a sugar overload. Okay. So be mindful of that. Also, having plenty rest, waking up rested. Sometimes people go to sleep, but their body don't get rest. One of the other things I like to tell people is I've always been guilty over the years, especially when I was a single parent, that I always slept with the TV on. When there's noise and things in the background, our minds still register that noise. I did it for years, actually, up until I got married. So learn how to shut things off around you. Shut the TV off, shut the radio off, and allow your body to naturally just go into a state of rest. Try your aromatherapies, right? It can be putting things inside of diffusers, these oils and things we talked about, putting them in diffusers and actually allowing them to relax you. If you're a person who deals with insomnia, you don't sleep very well, take your natural lavender oils and inhale them. Remember, we talked about relaxation. Lavender naturally helps with relaxation. Okay, so try that. All right. Sitting in the sun. That's a natural way to calm stress. All right. Sometimes when people can't sleep, they normally go to the melatonin, right? Oh, I keep melatonin, or I have this, but you naturally need to know how to begin to relax the body. Okay. Going in the sun, relaxing, getting some natural vitamin D. Okay. These are just things. Inflammation. We are going to talk about inflammation a lot because oftentimes our bodies have joint and pain concerns because of inflammation. Sometimes inflammation that can't be seen. Sometimes inflammation can mean your fingers or your ankles swelling, but why is it doing that? Cold and hot compressions, a ginger compress. That's one of the ways that I used to treat inflammation when I had it, is to actually take the ginger and you can chop it up and you can boil it and you can soak your towels inside of fresh ginger water and then put it on whatever location it is and it begins to help. Okay. Apply herbs externally. Okay. We've talked about herbs that you can use to help with inflammation. Like from hot peppers and things of that nature. These are natural herbs that help with these things. Try turmeric, all right? Turmeric is one of those things that contain inflammation properties, okay? You can be juicing it. You can have turmeric powder, a cup of warm milk with turmeric powder. It sounds disgusting, but it actually has natural properties to help with inflammation, okay? We're going to talk about that with eczema. Get you an avocado, mash it up, apply it to your skin or whatever area you may have eczema in. It's a natural thing to help with eczema. Even oatmeal baths. It's really good to take oatmeal, put it in some warm water. You can have it as a paste and apply it and leave it for a while, or just have nice warm oatmeal baths. Okay. So these are just some things that we just talked about as it relates to having natural herbs and remedies. We'll go back and talk about some more of them as I get some more notes. But I just want to come in today to talk to you about, don't always go to your natural medicine remedies. Try some your medication remedies. Try herbal remedies. Try natural remedies from things that you can grow in your own home and you know how they're being treated, instead of going to things that you can't even pronounce the words that are in some of this medication that we take for everyday common cold or flu. Let's try to go and result back to some natural things in our system and maybe to help us. Okay. That is enough for today. I beat my time. I said about 45 minutes. We are done. All right. Have an amazing day. I will see you all back on, what day are we cooking? Friday. I think we're cooking live. Friday afternoon for lunch. I think we're scheduled to cook live, but we'll be back. All right. Y'all have an amazing rest of the day. Go look up some of these herbs that we talked about. I will be listing some of them in a group so you'll know what they are if you need to go research them and try them. Okay. All right. Have a great one. Bye.